Right, here we go then. Okay, introducing on my show and programs and radio syndications. It's a pleasure to interview a male solo rising star. He goes by the name of the Great Adamz. Welcome to my show. How are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you very much. I'm grateful for having me here today. Thank
Yeah,
you.
lovely, lovely to have you on board. Where are you, like situated right now? Where are you at the moment?
I am in Northampton at the minute. I'm home. So it's a cold, windy day, but we love it. It does mean Christmas is coming, so we can't complain.
Oh, that's nice. What's this year been like? Have you been away from home, and when you come back home, is that a good feeling? Nice to be, back home.
Yeah. It's been quite a very different year. I'm a homebody, so I'm usually home quite a bit. But obviously with doing the album and stuff. I've been away from home quite a bit, in the studio quite a lot, and obviously with the shows as well, lots of traveling, even music videos, lots of traveling. So it's been a different kind of year, just doing lots of traveling. But when I'm back home, it's just very relaxing. It's good.
That's good. It's good to have some downtime after a busy, year.
Yeah.
And really just wanted to get you on to talk about a couple of your new singles and your album as well. But I'm just going to throw
Mhm.
it back before that. Music, was that always in your veins? Was that always something you were born to do?
I would say yes. I was born into a musical family, so I think it's just been there from the start. My mother used to be a choir director, so it's something that I just started seeing from a very young age. And I joined the choir from very early, 8, 9 years old. I was already in a choir. And then I learned all the things like I left to play the drums, and so I did the whole thing. I jumped into all the parts of the music. It's not just being a singer. I play the piano, play a bit of bass,
Hmm.
and I played drum professionally for a while actually.
Oh,
So it was always something that I think I was born to do. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. So, like, when you were growing up, you were always surrounded by like musical instruments, and were you always introduced like to different, forms of music and styles?
I was. My mother was very open to what she listened to. My mother she was a big reggae fan. But I had obviously Afrobeats growing up. I have a lot of reggae, and that's where the reggaeton and dancehall melody and vibe that I bring. That's where it comes from. But I also grew up with nieces and nephews and uncles who were big R&B fans. So that's where when you listen to my album, you can hear such a massive draw through four different genres, which becomes the sound of Great Adams. So I guess that's what makes me special, the fact that I can mix all together and turn it into my own thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was always surrounded by all this different stuff.
That's good. Well, we'll come on to that shortly. With the crossover and fusion, that's really popular at the moment.
It is, yeah, it is. It is. It's good. It's good because I think sometimes people need to explore. And the fusion is allowing people to explore quite a bit, even when you mix Afrobeats and Amapiano, when you mix dancehall with Afrobeats, reggaeton with Afrobeats. Um, It's just it's different. We want to hear new stuff. I think the world is ready to hear new stuff.
Yeah,
To be honest, and it's nice. Yeah.
that's good. So would you say that's how you would describe your music, your sounds, what you're trying to achieve, like the final product?
Yeah, I would say my sound is very fusionized. I think it's very I think Great Adams, has a signature, which is the melody
Yeah.
that I bring to every song. I mean, I don't have a song that doesn't have a melody, like a beautiful melody that you can hum to, you can enjoy. But I also think that I want people to listen to Good Adams and think, I can hear a bit of what I like anyway. You can listen to Fantastic and think, oh gosh, I can hear this retro R&B vibes that I like. You can listen to Love Your Neighbor, you can think, oh, I can hear the Amapiano. You can listen to Talk to Me, you can listen to, songs like Gimme Whyne, and you can be like, oh, that's reggaeton, mixed with Afrobeat. So for me, I don't want to be just put like, oh, he does Afrobeats. I want people to listen to my music and still hear something that they're familiar with, not just completely strange, So that's how I see it
Yeah,
anyway.
that's good. It's great that you've got your own individuality, like Great Adams. You know who you
Mhm,
are and what you want to be. That's
mhm.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, of course.
And onto your new latest single, it's called Fantastic. What
Yeah.
do you hope listeners will take from this record?
Fantastic it's a very important record for me personally because it's a song that I always say that is like a painting. It's the first song that made me that turned me into a painter, not just a musician. And I'll explain what I mean. Um, when people listen to it, I want people to understand the painting of what they're hearing. They're hearing something that's probably never been done before. Because what I've done is I've taken a retro sound from 80s, 70s, and I have mixed a little bit of my melody, Great Adamz, which is what you hear in all the backups. And I've also gone from there and also modernize that retro sound in a way where I when I was writing the song, I thought I wanted people to hear the 1970s and 1980s in the song, but also think if Marvin Gaye was doing a jam right now, what would he sound like? That's what the chorus is there for, you know? And then I still want people to be like, but who is this artist? Can this artist still find himself in a track like this? And that's where all the melodies come from. So
Mm.
it's the first time where I've put music out like I'm doing a drawing, I'm doing a painting, and when I listen to the final version, it's exactly what I thought I was trying to do in my head. So for me, when people hear it, I want them to be able to just be like, you know what? I can see what he's trying to do here. I can see the importance of the retro, old school R&B vibes and mixing with the new school and creating a sound out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, just in my notes here, I've described it as an upbeat Afrobeat radio-friendly song. It's amassed
Mhm.
like over 20,000 on Spotify. That's a respectful figure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's weird because um the album itself has just gone a bit crazy because we when you release an album, you never know what song is going to do well in the first week, and Fantastic did 20K first week, which was interesting. I think it's is starting to go up now. And I think it will probably do a bigger number as the time goes on
Yeah.
because people would start to come up, people start to enjoy it more. I mean, it's the top three most streamed songs on the album currently. So yeah,
Yeah. I'm sure when this interview goes out, it'll probably be on the 40K mark.
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And you mentioned the great late Marvin Gaye as well. Maybe you incorporated some of, his, was it sexual healing he was made
Yes,
famous
that's
for?
right. Yeah, yeah,
Loved
yeah,
I think it was the keyboard on that one. It was like the 808
yeah,
Roland he used on that
yeah, yeah.
record. Wow.
Yes, 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 we did, and we also added a bit of the bridge. Get up, get up, get up. We added that as well. To the song itself, which was incredible to see. Um, it was it was very different. It wasn't something that it wasn't something that obviously I'm used to doing in a way because I think when I started doing the song, I wasn't sure how to get it out that people would be like, oh, I see what he's trying to do here. So it was very difficult to do that, but I enjoyed doing that, and I think for a fact, I think for a fact, one of the best part about doing that song was that I think if he heard it, if he was alive, he would have probably been like, "Well done." I think I did the song justice. I did what I was trying to create.
Yeah.
Out of the inspiration I got from him, I think I did that one.
Yeah.
I did a good job for that one.
Yeah, I'm great to hear that you're satisfied with the final result of that record. It seems like
Yeah,
you had fun putting it together, like the recording process.
yeah.
Who did you work with on there as well? Like, did like recognizable producers and songwriters?
Yeah, so I wrote the whole song myself. So I the producer was S School, who's a guy who's produced for me before a number of times. So we he actually sent me the instrumental first, and I went in my room and I wrote it by myself. I as most people know, I record, mix and master all my songs. Because it's what I like to do. I prefer to hear it and I'm happy with it. I do have a lot of producers that I work with who are amazing, but when it comes to the mixing of my vocals, I like to do it myself.
Mm.
So I did a lot of the job on that one. So yeah, the piano and stuff I played obviously because I wanted to get a retro sound. So I played a lot of that into it. So yeah, it's just it's a two-man song, believe it or not.
Wow. And speaking of two songs, you've got another one out. It's called Gimme Whyne, which is, I describe it
Yeah,
as kind of like a dancehall favorite, which
yeah,
was simultaneously releasing at the same time as this
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, Gimme Wine is just is an amazing song. So I performed Gimme Wine the first time in Cardiff in 2022. So I wrote Gimme Wine at the beginning of 2022, when I had the MOBO Awards, MOBO Unsung tour when I wrote that. So we were on a tour after the MOBO Unsung Class finished. We were supposed to go on a tour. I couldn't do all the tours, but I could do a few. So we went to Cardiff. Never been to Cardiff to perform before. And I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to perform? What, I was like, what am I going to do? So I just told the DJ, the guy who had all the songs, I said, just play Give Me Wine and let's see. And the crowd went mental. It was just unreal. I couldn't believe what I was getting. So I was like, I'm never releasing this song. It's got to go on the album. So I had it until now to put it on the album. But it's just a upbeat song.
Mm.
People, it makes people really happy. I can tell you that.
And so Gimme Whyne is finally out now, and it's been well worth the wait.
Yes, yes, it's doing amazing. I think it's just reached 300K
Wow.
on YouTube now. And I think it's just over 44K since it's been released on Spotify and like 150K on Audiomack. So it's doing very well, a lot better than we expected.
Good. And we talked about those two singles, but talk about your album as well. It's a nice album called Blessed Boy, got a dozen tracks on there. Do you have a personal favorite on this album?
It's people have asked me this question a lot. It's impossible for me to pick a personal favorite. It's the whole album is just it just depends on I listen to it all the time and I'm like, you know what, I like this more now. And then next day I'm like, I like this one now. So no, I think there's a story being told in the album, and I think you got to listen to all of it to get to really understand what I'm trying
Mm.
to share. The story of love. Also, a lot of my story is being shared in the album. Like the first song on the album is called Blessings. The blessing,
Yeah.
the last song is called Blessings. And people are like, why have you got two songs called Blessings? I'm like, because these two songs tell a completely different story. The last song tells a story about my actual life and things that I went through, very tough time. The first song shares a story about my community and the pain that they're going through. So, and it also shares how we're being grateful even though we're going through all this stuff. So it's not the absence of pain or absence of being of problems, is being grateful for where you are, but this is two different types of sides
Mm.
of my life that are very important to me.
Yeah. And the final part and track, Blessing, did you
Yeah.
feel that was the definitive track to finalize the album as closure?
I think it was because
Mm.
it was very personal. The second verse talked about um, how I got heartbroken and how a woman that I was with for such a long time left me and I thought my life was ending, and I felt very lonely. And then my wife came into my life and she changed everything. And, I've got two daughters now, and I'm very grateful for that. So that was the icing on the cake to say, even at the worst point that I could be, I still found some sort of closure and happiness in the end. So um, I thought that track was the best track to finish the album. Yeah,
That's a lovely message backstory that is to hear.
yeah.
And one of your most highly received records is called Love Your Neighbor. It has a powerful message behind it, especially these days. It's with your neighbors. It's good to
Yeah.
keep that message alive, isn't it?
It's important to me. It's very important to me because um, a lot of times I grew up from a very different community to what I am currently living in the UK. I've been in the UK for a very long time. Um, and I grew up in a community where I knew everyone in my street and everyone knew everyone in your families and everyone talked to everyone. And in Christmas time, it's like a massive carnival, you know? And then I started to realize that even though I love how cozy it is in the UK and how amazing you spend
Mm.
personal time with your family, I just realized that the rest of the year, people don't really know who their neighbors are. People don't really, almost in a way, that I wouldn't say they don't care because they actually do care if something's wrong, but the effort to get to know people has become very subdued. And I felt like we could spread more love. We all definitely need more love. And the song was just to preach more community. And I'm very big on that. It's important that people build a community amongst themselves.
Mm.
Very key.
Okay, so keep the kind of message upon the song, love your neighbor, keep the community spirit alive.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
that's great stuff. What's the feeling like when you hear your song being played back on the radio, or in particular, like say a nightclub or bar?
Um, it still surprises me a little bit. I've got to be honest. I still go, oh, what's that? um, I've been to a lot of bars and clubs recently, and I'm just having my meal, and my song comes on, and I'm just like, do I start dancing now? Do I keep eating my food? What do I do? But it's a feeling of being very grateful because I've come so far.
Hmm.
And when I hear my song being played now in places, I'm just like, I'm just glad that people can hear my music, and it's massive. It's a big privilege because you never know how big it is until you've been in a place where you make music for a long time and you're not necessarily getting the recognition you deserve. And once you start to get that, you start to become more grateful because you've been through the hard work and the process.
Hmm. That's great. Like just talking about like say nightclubs. I mean your songs like especially fantastic. It's up there like blended with like Fuse ODG. It would go well with that type of artist.
Yes, yes, I love Fuse. It's one of the people I really, really enjoy listening to, and you're absolutely right. It would be great to for people to just fusion the songs into whatever they feel like works, and I would love to hear what DJs are doing with it. I've seen a few stuff, and I just think they are amazing. DJs just I'll tell you one thing, DJs amazes me all the time. I always think of DJs like they have a whole different mind from whatever the musicians think they're doing. DJs they're like literally the perfect people to give a song to and they could turn it into something else that you
Mm,
never thought could happen. So yeah, I would love to see more DJs do stuff to fantastic because
mm.
it's actually something I look forward to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. It's amazing how advanced technology has come to do all of this, transitioning, and you got
Yeah.
like with DJing crates and stems as well. The world's your
Yes, yes.
oyster to be creative.
It's
Cool.
incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
Just a couple more questions to go. Do you have any dates you're performing in, like say the UK, Europe, you'd like to share with us next year, 2025?
Yeah, so we're going on tour late summer next year. So it would be incredible. And dates will be announced on my social media around mid next year. So tickets should be out. So we're going to do a big tour. And we've got a couple of big performances in Northampton. Obviously, I had my headline show this year, so I'm gonna finish my tour in my hometown, Northampton. We did over 400 people this year for the headline show. So
Mm,
with a storm and everything. So we want to try and do 1,000 people next year. We think we can, and we
yeah.
would. So it would be amazing to see everyone there. Yeah, we've got big plans, live performances all through the year. We've got a few festivals to announce as well. So if you'll be going to the festivals, you probably catch me here and there.
Mm. And do you enjoy the performing aspect of being on stage, the live element of your profession? After you've been stuck in the recording studios for so many months, to finally get your product out there performing live.
I think that's the best part of doing music, is because live performances allows you to be whatever you want to be.
Mm,
And being in the studio, you try to be what the radios want to hear, what is pleasing to the ear. But when I'm live, I just express myself. I could scream my heart out, and I can tell that even if people don't understand what I'm doing, they will see the passion and they would enjoy that. So I love performing live, absolutely love it. And I've got a beautiful band as well, the 99 band. And yeah, we were performing pretty much everywhere at the moment. I'm performing everywhere at the moment live because I just enjoy it more.
mm. That's amazing. Well, one final question I better ask you. Do you have an official website where people can visit, or would you like to share like your social media links?
Yeah, yeah. So I've got my social media is at Great, which is Great, and Adams is Adamz, and that's on all social media platforms. You can find me everywhere on the same name. I'm usually the only guy that turns up. So yeah, just Adam with a Z at the end, Adams, and you can find me on there.
Well, it's fantastic speaking with you today, Great Adams, and
Thank you.
wish you all the best with this new album and continuation success for 2025. Okay,
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
no worries.